Today we will start with the second chapter of history, that is when people rebel. So this word rebel means a person who is opposed to the political system in their country and tries to change it using force. So if we talk about the history of the year 1857 century, it is considered to be a turning point. You shall see how the events unfolded. Unfolded means a situation or story to develop or become clear. Which ignited. Ignited means inflamed an emotion or situation and the fire of independence and nationalism among the people. So, there was a situation in India in the year 1857 century. So, there you will see there was a turning point that came and the people had been ignited with the fire of independence and nationalism among the people. So this word nationalism means identification with one's own nation and support for its interests, especially to the exclusion of the interests of other nations, who were already feeling as if they were driven against the wall due to the oppressive and exploitative policies of the British. So this word oppressive means harsh and exploitative means making use of a situation or treating others unfairly in order to gain an advantage or benefit. Now we will look into the uprising of 1857. So here uprising means again an act of opposition, sometimes using violence by many people in one area of a country against those who are in power. So any colonial means a person from another country who lives in a colony, especially as part of its system of government, would choose to introduce policies which are aimed to dominate. Dominate means have power and influence over, and impose. Impose means force or an unwelcome decision or ruling on someone. Their hegemony. So this term hegemony means the leadership or dominance, especially by one state or social group over others on the population. So they would set out terms which would exploit. Exploit means make full use of and derive benefit from a resource, and extract means take out, especially by effort or force, the maximum from the soil and the people of the occupied territories. Territories means an area of land under the jurisdiction of a ruler or state. So was the case with the European powers. These European powers who had occupied the Indian territory, while the other powers like the Portuguese and the French, they had little reputation, meaning standings, and the British was the only one who had the largest share of the territories under their control by 1857. As you saw in the previous chapters, there were simmering discontentment. So this word simmering, it means to be filled with a strong feeling that is difficult to be controlled or hide. Discontentment means a feeling of not being satisfied with your situation or with the way you are being treated. And this also brought situation of distrust and distress among the people due to the oppressive and exploitative policies. So here if we talk about this term distrust, it means the feeling that someone or something cannot be relied upon, and distress means extreme anxiety, sorrow or pain. And this happened among the people due to the oppressive and exploitative policies, which means the harsh or the way the British treated others unfairly in order to gain benefit. The situation was building up and it was as if a haystack. Haystack means a large tall pile of hay in a field. It was waiting for a spark to burst into flames. And This was done by the introduction of greased cartridges. So these greased cartridges means they had lubricated with grease, they had applied oil or fats on these cartridges. Cartridges, it is a metal or cardboard tube containing a bullet and an explosive substance such as gunpowder. They were used in guns. So the introduction of these greased cartridges by the British as ammunition for the rifles. This word ammunition, it means objects that can be shot from a weapon such as bullets or bombs. And it also talks about the rifles. So rifle means a type of a gun which is a long barrel part shaped like a tube fired from the shoulder and designed to be accurate at long distances. This had been used by the soldiers during those times. Now let us see the run-up to the critical situation and then the revolt. Means an attempt to get rid of a government by using violence. It unfolded. Unfolded means the situation developed of revolt being taken place. And now we will look at the causes here. Let us discuss about the causes. So the rebellion of 1857 or the revolt of 1857, this was the result of discontentment or dissatisfaction among the different sections of the society against the British oppressive or harsh policies. The causes of the rebellion or revolt of 1857 can be categorized as the first policy was the economic causes. So economic causes, it is related to the organization on the matter of trade, industry and money of a country, region or society. The second cause would be the political causes. So the political causes is related to the government or public affairs of a country. The third would be the social and religious cause. So social, here it means it is related to the society or its organization, and religious means it is related or it is believing in a religion. Now the fourth one would be the military causes. In military causes, the service of an armed forces of a country is termed as military causes. And the fifth one would be the immediate cause, which means the instant or done at once. Now we will take a look at the first cause, which is the economic causes. Let us discuss about the first cause, which is the economic causes. It is one of the most important cause of discontentment or feeling of not being satisfied against the British was the policy of economic exploitation, means the action of making use of and benefiting from resources. The peasants suffered due to high revenue demands. This peasants means farmers, and revenue, it means a state's annual income from which public expenses are met. These were the demands that was made by the company under the different revenue collection policies it followed. The peasants or the farmers were exploited, meaning they used the peasants unfairly for their own advantage. The peasants were used unfairly by the zamindars. So this word zamindars, it means a landowner, especially one who leases his land to tenant farmers. The peasants often lose their land due to non-payment of taxes. They were forced to grow indigo. Indigo, it is a tropical plant of the pea family which was formerly widely cultivated as a source of dark blue dye. This created resentment or bitterness among them. The artisans had lost their livelihood. Livelihood means the way someone earns the money to pay for food, clothing and shelter, etc. Artisans. So this word artisans and craftsmen. So here artisans means a worker in a skilled trade, especially one that involved making things by hand. And craftsmen. Craftsmen means a worker skilled in a particular craft. They were ruined. Ruined means they were destroyed by the large scale influx. Influx meaning arriving of large number of people or things at the time. This influx or arriving of cheap British manufactured goods into India, which in turn made their handmade goods very expensive. To safeguard their own industry, the British levied means imposed heavy duties. Duties means a tax paid to the government, especially on things that you bring into a country. These duties were on Indian goods in England. So people who were working as administrative staff. So administrative here, it is related to the running of a business, organization, etc. And the workers for the kings and nobles. So these nobles, they belong to a high social rank in a society, especially by birth. They lost their livelihood. Livelihood, or you can say the means of earning, and the livelihood was lost due to the displacement of the ruling classes. So this term displacement means the situation in which people are forced to leave the place where they normally live. The company officials started draining away India's wealth to England. This word draining, it means to take out the flow of wealth, money, etc. So the company officials, what they did was they started taking away the wealth, money, etc. to their country or England. Now we will look into the political causes. Now let us look at the second causes, which is the political causes. So the British, they displaced large number of rulers and chiefs. So here displaced, it means to force someone to move from that place. And chiefs, it means a leader or a ruler of a person or clan. So the British, they forced the chiefs and the rulers by adopting different policies. They took away their powers and in most places turned them into puppets. Puppet here means a person, group or country under the control of another. And here the rulers became the puppet rulers under their own sovereign control. So sovereign control means under the supreme control of the British. For example, let us look at the doctrine of lapse. This policy was adopted by Lord Dalhousie. According to this policy, if any Indian ruler, they died without leaving a natural heir, his kingdom would automatically pass over to the British. They followed this policy to increase the British kingdom, and the ruler's adopted son would not be allowed to occupy the throne. It was introduced in 1858. So, the doctrine of lapse introduced means adopted by Lord Dalhousie angered the rulers. Many places like Nagpur, Jhansi, Satara and Sambalpur was annexed, means to take possession of any area or land or a country by force. That was done by the British. The British annexed on the pretext that the ruler did not leave behind a natural successor. Successor means a person who succeeds another to the throne. Awadh was annexed on the grounds of misgovernance, means the act of misgoverning. It was greatly resented by the soldiers as majority of them belonged to this state. Moreover, the Nawabs of Awadh had always been loyal to the British. So resented means the feeling of bitterness. Another thing which happened was the policy of subsidiary alliance. So, if we look into this policy of subsidiary alliance, let me first tell you, in your previous chapter also you must have gone through the subsidiary alliance and its terms. So here, subsidiary alliance is a system developed by the East India Company. It was introduced by Lord Wellesley. It solved the problem of ruling a nation which is under the rule of a king. The terms of the subsidiary alliance was the Indian ruler entering into a subsidiary alliance with the British had to accept British forces in his territory and also agreed to pay for their maintenance. Such a ruler would not form an alliance with any other power without the permission of the British. So these are all the terms, and the other term was the ruler would not employ any Europeans other than the British, and if he was already doing so, he would dismiss them. Another policy and the terms of subsidiary alliance was, in case of a conflict with any other state, the British would decide to do and he would accept their solution. Another thing which talked about the terms of the subsidiary alliance was the ruler would acknowledge the East India Company as the power in India, and in return for the ruler accepting its conditions, the company undertook to protect the state from external dangers and internal disorders. Another thing which is mentioned is, if the Indian rulers fail to make the payments required by the alliance, then part of the territory was to be taken away as a penalty. Under this doctrine, Indian rulers under British protection surrendered the control of their foreign affairs to the British. Most disbanded. Disbanded means to stop being a group. Their native armies, instead maintaining British troops within their states to protect them from attack, as British power grew in most places of India. This became increasingly unlikely. The system also allowed the British to maintain their army at the expense of local rulers. So this policy took away the independence of Indian rulers. A British resident was stationed. Stationed means they were placed in their court of the Indian rulers. The rulers could not take independent decisions. They were merely puppets or under the control of the British hands. The British denied to give pension to Nana Saheb, the adopted son of Peshwa Baji Rao II. It was also announced that Bahadur Shah would be the last Mughal emperor and his successor would have to move out of the Red Fort. So this is about the political causes. Now we will move on to the social and religious causes. We shall move into the social and religious causes. The social reforms means the changes introduced by the British were looked upon with a suspicion, means doubt, by the conservative sections of the Indian society. Conservative means a person who is averse to change and holding traditional values. While the reforms such as abolition of sati. So this word abolition means to end the sati system. Sati system means in which a widow sacrifices herself by sitting at her dead husband's funeral pyre, and it was a forced practice, meaning they had to sacrifice themselves sitting on a fire along with the husband's dead body. Legislation of widow remarriage. This means the widows were allowed to get remarried after their husband's death, and the extension of Western education. So they also provided the fact of reaching Western education to women, and this was initiated by Indian reformists. Reformists are the person who tries to improve a system or law by changing it, and were overall benefit of the social order. Yet they were looked upon with suspicion as foreign interference in the social customs of the country. Now, a major cause of the outbreak of the rebellion or the revolt was the fear among the people that the British government was determined to destroy their religion and convert Hindus to Christianity. So this word Rebellion, again it means the violent action organized by a group of people who are trying to change the political system in their country. And determined, the British, determined means here to have a strong feeling that you are going to do something and no one can allow to stop you. So what the Britishers did was they started converting the Hindus to Christianity, the increasing activities of the Christian missionaries. So missionaries, here it means a person who has been sent to a foreign country to teach them religion to the people who live there. These all factors came into picture and the actual conversions made by them gave rise to this fear. Now we will talk about the policy of taxing lands. So this lands, it belonged to the lands of the temples and the mosques. It lent fuel to fire. And people thought that religion was under threat. Threat, it means that they thought that a person or something could cause damage or danger. This feeling united all sections of society against a common enemy. The social discrimination faced by the Indians due to the British attitude of the racial superiority led to large-scale resentment. Educated Indians were not given means they were denied promotions and appointments to high offices. This turned them down against the British. So here, if we talk about some of the terms, that is social, it means related to the society or its organization. Discrimination is, there was the social discrimination that was faced by the Indians, and this discrimination means the unjust treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of race, age or sex. And racial. Racial means it is connected with someone's race like caste, creed, color, religion, etc. And here the British, they were trying to make themselves superior, or you can say the word superiority means supremacy or the quality of being better than others. So we have talked about the social and religious causes, the political causes and the economic causes. Now we will move on to do some questions and answers from Let's Check. Let us do Let's Check. Question number 1. How were peasants affected by the revenue policies of the British? The answer would be the peasants suffered due to high revenue demands made by the company under the different revenue collection policies it followed. The peasants were exploited by zamindars and very often they had to lose the ownership of land due to non-payment of taxes. They were forced to grow indigo, which had created resentment among them. Question number 2. How were artisans affected by the British manufactured goods into India? The answer would be artisans and craftsmen were ruined by the large-scale influx of cheap British manufactured goods into India, which in turn made their handmade goods very expensive. Question number 3. Who introduced the doctrine of lapse in India? It would be Lord Dalhousie. Question number 4. Who was the last Mughal emperor? It would be Bahadur Shah Zafar. Question number 5. Why were educated Indians not happy with the British? We will see in page number 43. Educated Indians were denied promotions and appointments to high offices. This turned them against the British. So they were not happy with the British. It means to say that this turned them against the British. Now we will move on to the military causes. Now let us look at the military causes, which is the 4th causes. The percentage of the Indian soldiers were 85% of the total British troops. Troops means armies in India, as they were an integral means important or necessary part of the Indian society. They too suffered the consequences. Consequences means a result or effect, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant, of the oppressive or the harsh British rule. Besides this, they had other grievances. Grievances means another word as injustice or a real cause for complaint, especially unfair treatment. The Indian sepoys were looked down upon and handled with contempt. Contempt means a strong feeling of disliking and having no respect for someone or something. They were handled with contempt by their British officers. So the Indian sepoys, they were not treated well. They were not handled in a proper manner by their British officers. The pay scales were discriminatory, meaning treating a person differently from and unusually worse than other people because of their skin color, etc. So their scales were not higher than the British soldiers. The Indian soldiers did not get further promotion above the rank of Subedar. So Subedar here means a mid-level junior commissioned officer. The Indian soldiers did not get further promotion above the rank of Subedar, and the posts of officers were reserved for the British. So here the Indians, the soldiers belonging to India or the Indian soldiers did not get any promotion further than Subedar, and all the posts were reserved for the British officers or the British army. Now the annexation means the add-on of Awadh. Inflamed means a strong feeling provoked or intensified their strong feeling against foreign rule. The order that forbade the soldiers from wearing caste and sectarian marks like tilaks, etc., hurt their religious sentiments. So this word forbade, it means disallowed, and sectarian mark, it means the symbols which shows they belong to this particular sect, like tilak, or they like tilak, that is also showing the person belong to a particular sect, or you can also say that he belongs to Hinduism. A mark worn by a Hindu on the forehead to indicate caste, sect or status, or as an ornament. Sentiments, it here means the feelings of the Indian soldiers. The orders which required the soldiers to travel overseas was against the popular Hindu belief that travel across the sea led to a loss of caste recognition. Recognition means identification of something or someone or person from previous encounters or knowledge, and here we are talking in terms of religions. Another cause of the discontentment of the soldier was the withdrawal of the foreign service allowance, that is bhatta, which the British soldiers were getting for fighting beyond the frontiers of a country. Now again there is a word discontentment here. It means a feeling of unhappiness. Frontiers, it means a line or border separating two countries. Now we will talk about the immediate causes. Let us look at the immediate cause. All the causes enumerated above had brought the Indian population at the verge of revolt. So this word enumerated means mentioned a number of things one by one, and the verge means limit of something. The spark was provided by a small thing as small as a rifle cartridge. So this spark means a small event or problem that causes a much worse situation to develop, and this happened because of a small thing, that was rifle cartridge. So rifle here means a type of a gun with a long barrel which is fired from the shoulder. Cartridge means a tube containing an explosive substance like a gunpowder and often a bullet for use in a gun. So around this time, the Enfield rifle was introduced in the army. Its cartridges were covered with a greased paper cover. The greased cover had to be bitten off before the cartridge could be loaded into the rifle. So before they loaded the cartridge on the rifle, then first they used to grease them with oil or fat, and they used to put it on the gun, and before the loading was done, this cartridges, the grease cartridges, it had to be bitten off. So this news spread that the grease was made of cow and pig fat, as the Hindus consider the cow sacred. Sacred means holy and deserving respect, especially because of a connection with the god. And Muslims, they do not eat the meat of the pig. Both these communities were enraged. Communities means the people living in one particular area who are considered as a unit because of their common interests, social group or nationality. We can otherwise say society. So they both were enraged. Enraged means they became furious or they became angry because of the introduction of the Enfield rifles, and this incident was popularly known as the greased cartridges incident, which became the immediate cause of the revolt or the fight. So now we will look into something important here, which talks about a person. His name is Mangal Pandey. He was the first one who protested against using the greased cartridges and was raised by a soldier by the name of Mangal Pandey. So greased here, it means to apply oil or fat on something, and here I am referring to the cartridges. And he belonged to the 34th Infantry stationed at Barakpur near Calcutta. So he belonged to the 34th Infantry. Infantry means the part of an army that fights on foot, and stationed means soldiers to be in a particular place to do a job. And he was stationed at Barakpur near Calcutta. He was subsequently hanged on 24th April 1857 as he refused to use the cartridges. So subsequently here it means that he refused to use the greased cartridges, and after a particular thing was happened, after that he was hanged on 24th of April 1857. So again the cartridge word came here, which says a bullet for a use in a gun. Some of the soldiers who had stationed, again some of the soldiers, those who were at Meerut, also refused to use the cartridges, and they were severely punished for this on the 9th of May 1857. This incident sparked off a mutiny among the sepoys of Meerut. So when the soldiers who had been placed at Meerut refused to use the cartridges, they were severely punished on the 9th of May 1857, and this incident sparked off. Sparked means to cause the start of something, especially an argument or fight. And mutiny. Mutiny means an open rebellion against the proper authorities, especially by soldiers against their officers. And sepoys. Sepoys means an Indian soldier serving under British or other European orders. Now, these rebel soldiers killed their British officers on the 10th of May 1857. The soldiers who were revolting are the rebellion soldiers. They killed the British officers on the 10th of May 1857. These soldiers released their imprisoned comrades. So here imprisoned means to keep someone in a prison or jail. So those person or comrades, a colleague or a fellow member of the armed forces, they were released from the jail and they hosted the flag of revolt. So they started the revolt. This was the official beginning of the Great Indian Uprising of 1857. Uprising means the rebellion, or let's say again a revolt. The soldiers started their move on towards Delhi, and they reached Delhi on the 11th of May 1857. Here the local infantry troops, again the soldiers who march on foot, they were the troops who joined in, and the rebels seized Delhi. So again this word rebels, a person who is opposed to the political system in their country and tries to change it using force. Now these rebellion soldiers, they seized Delhi. Seized means to take something by force, and they took over Delhi and declared the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar as the Emperor of India. Bahadur Shah wrote letters to all chiefs. Chiefs again here it means the leader or ruler of a people or clan. So Bahadur Shah, he wrote letters to all chiefs and rulers of the country to fight against British. So the news spread quickly to the other areas and people stood up in rebellion. Again, rebellion means action against those in authority, against the rules or against normal and accepted ways of behaving, or revolt. So everyone, they started revolting as the news spread quickly to the other areas and people stood up in rebellion against the British in different parts of the country. Now, looking at all this situation, we will finally know that the revolt of 1857 had started, and after this, now we will move on to another topic, which is do you know? Now let us do the last part of this week's video and know about Bahadur Shah Zafar in Do You Know? Bahadur Shah Zafar, he was also famous as an Urdu poet who composed number of ghazals. So ghazals, it's a lyric poem with a fixed number of verses and a repeated rhyme, and later on these were compiled in Kulliyat-e-Zafar. So Kulliyat-e-Zafar, it is a collection of poetry. So children, today we have done this much and we will continue with the remaining topics in our next video. Thank you.